Hello, everyone. Nubkeks here. Good morning, and welcome back to Nub Raids, or good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where you are, of course. But the summon rush for the Incarnate Fusion. Is it the Incarnate Fusion or the Incarnate Fusion? Very confusing. Very confusing. But the summon rush has gone live, and to get the Void Epic, we need 3,000 points. Ooh, this one is interesting right now. In terms of how many shards that actually boils down to, of course, the 3,000, and the points per shard are down here. For 3,000 points, that's 3,000 mysteries. Actually, fairly doable if you have them. It's just really hard to get that many, but you can pull them so quickly with the new tavern features. So you can certainly supplement with mysteries. It's 150 ancients. Terrible idea. Don't do it, especially doubly so because there's a special summon rush coming on Tuesday, which is going to involve bonus points from ancients and primals. But this is terrible, obviously. 25 voids, 15 primals, 6 sacreds. Again, with the primals, you should really, I mean, number one, I suppose we have that special summon rush on Tuesday, which is, I think it's double points, or it's bonus points anyway, for primals and ancients. Ancients is really the way to go for that summon rush, most likely. Primals really should be saved for 2x, the big 2x mythicals, to get the most mythicals possible. So look, 6 sacreds or 25 voids. On top of that, remember, when we looked at the fusion plan, we've already mentioned the special summon rush at 50 fragments. It's likely, it's not certain, but it's likely that next weekend will be a champion chase, and that will require you to use void shards to do it. Again, probably around 25 voids, but if you save up your Slixus fragments, if you are doing the fusion, you can summon up your copies of Slixus, which will mitigate the cost of the champion chase, right? It will help you do that. And likewise, save up any permanent fusion stuff you have. Like you could potentially fuse a whole bunch of Broadmaws. It's something I actually have been meaning to do more of. I've got a few in the bank. I need more of this guy. But you know, some Broadmaws to help with that sort of thing, right? So there's ways around it. But that would probably require void shards. So which shard type should we pull? There are really good champions in both, like in your sacreds. So this for me, I think this is really sacreds or voids. For sacreds, you've got these champions, very solid. Like my goodness, very very solid. And for voids, you've got these champions, really good. It's one of the best progressives, right? There's fantastic options whether you want damage or whether you want support. Really depends what you want and need. It's a tough call, guys. It's a tough call. Like he's great for obviously opening up dungeon runs if you need resets and stuff like that. There are more reset champs in the game right now, but trying to get a Kymar makes a lot of sense. I say Magnar is the easiest plug and play damage dealer, though Phoenix is very good as well. Phoenix gives you an answer to Sun Wukong. And Korra is great, though she's a past fusion. Rotus, you might not have. Anyway, we talked about this yesterday. There's a lot of good options. For me, I have all of these champions. Don't need any extra. More copies of Rotus would be nice, and Korra is fantastic as well. I'd be looking for more Phoenix copies, I think, rather than Magnar, because Phoenix maybe some block revive shenanigans is kind of nice, and Rotus maybe I'd look for copies. Though Ancora is that's a tough call. Ancora copies just makes your tankier. Maybe Rotus, make him hit harder. I'd probably go like that myself. And over for the voids, for me, I picked Harris over Shuzan, especially because of the mythical I got in the combo there. And then I'm going to put in Gala as well. I think Sacreds is probably the safer bet. Let's say you are like me. Imagine you've got lots of both. Which shard type is better for this one? I would say Sacreds is the safer bet because you know, there could be a guaranteed void. I mean, I've seen lots of speculation that Incensa, Grail Bearer, that she would be a really, and she does sort of fit the power level, sort of, you know, a guaranteed void legendary that they could do. And she could be a lot of void shards. It's 2x voids next weekend. So that's a lot of void investment, even if you've got an absolute ton. Sacreds, I think, are the safer bet. You know, the Sacreds will be helpful for the summon rush, obviously, coming up. But Ancients, you could probably do Ancients for that summon rush if you're doing the bonus one, and then champion chase you probably wouldn't do your sacred. So yeah, it's hard to know for absolute sure, but I'd say sacreds are sort of objectively the way to do it. And, 6 sacreds to get the fusion. Like, let's say you're planning to pull your voids in the void event anyway. 6 sacreds then to get a legendary is actually pretty good if you look at it like that. Obviously, you have to have enough silver to do the artifact enhancement, and you have to have the energy to do the dungeon divers. I'd say they're the biggest impediments. But when you look at it like that, the cost isn't so bad. Anyway, I'm going to pull my void shards. Funny enough, this is going to give us, I think we need 25. This is going to give us as well, a chance to get Slixus. We could just pull the Void Epic, and that would put us way ahead in terms of the fusion, and we could skip, if we could pull the Void Epic, I could skip every single Dungeon Divers, which would be lovely, wouldn't it? That'd be fun. Also, one thing I wanted to mention, because I was thinking about this, right? This is a bit of a side topic. I'll probably try to do a live arena showcase. It won't scroll the way I want it to. Over the weekend, maybe with Lazarius, but just to put this in perspective as well, because it's crazy, because we're speaking about guaranteeds. These would probably be my ideal 5 picks. I just did a live arena fight, and I got all 5 of these, and I was like, yep, that's really good. Probably my ideal 5 picks in live arena, but check it out. Armans, Sifi, Ancora, Narcis, and Lazarius. We've got 2 fusions in there. Armans and Ancora, 2 fusions from this year. That's crazy. Narcis then was a guaranteed Void Legendary. Sifi is sort of like the goat, right? One of the Void goats who's been around forever. And then Lazarius is like the new mythical. Probably prior to Lazarius, this might have even been Sun Wukong, I've been Wukong as my ideal damage. He was a login champion. So man, like the power creep and also the guaranteed power at the moment is just crazy. Oh, I see we're going to have to free up some space. Let's see. Can we get something good here at the start? I put in Gala. Would love some extra copies of Gala. Now, the quality of the champions we get at Summon Rush, it doesn't matter, but we'd obviously like to get good ones just to get them. Okay, you know what? Empowering, Skullcrown, and Basher are pretty darn good ones. I don't have any empowerments, I think, on Gala, so those are pretty good. Let me free up some space, and I'll be right back. All right, plenty of space freed up. Let's go again. Another 10 pull, and then 5 singles. Let's do it. We didn't touch on it in the Summon Rush page, but I think the rewards for going above, I mean, you got to go like way above the point requirement to get towards good rewards. That's very much sort of whale territory. Oh, wow, 10 rares. Well, that's disappointing. All right, then 5 singles. I'm still sitting with over 120 voids, which leaves me pretty confident. Now, if, again, you guys know I am willing to buy shards for videos and for these big events in the game. I'm willing to do it. That's sort of, where I'm at as a content creator. I'm able to do it. In fact, it makes sense for me to do it as a CC, right, for making videos. But if you are not in that position, again, like I said, Sacreds might have been the better way to do this, to really try to prioritize having a great stockpile of voids for the guaranteed void, right? Because for Narcis, I think I was 30 void short and I bought them, but that's like $100, right? It's crazy. For a single champion, it's nuts. So really be careful of that, right? I think we're doing, what, 2 more? We're getting a lot of rares here. Come on, at least give us a freaking Gala. Oh, man. I'm pretty sure this is the last one. Hopefully I was thinking about explaining that stuff to you. Oh, gosh. Oh, the rares for days. But I think that's it. And then we are definitely stopping. We're not going further than necessary here. Unless I've done it by accident. No, I think we're good. I think bang on 3,000. So it works out fairly well. Grab some energy. You're going to be slapping that into Fire Knight. I've got some sniffles there. But yeah, that's sort of where we are at. Yeah, cool. The fusion warm-up is still on. It might have ended by the time you see the video, though. But you could grab that if you see. I really dibble-dabbled in this fusion, in this path. We went all over. I've sort of ended up doing this right-hand side. I kept pulling my soul stones as I got them. Basically, every time I earned enough stuff for soul stones, I was pulling them one by one. I didn't get anything good after our big pull sessions, but I've sort of been pulling them bit by bit. Yeah, let me also show you, I have upgraded, finally, my Fire Knight team. We're running with this now. The optimizer was down yesterday, so I wasn't able to check, but I need to check the optimizer to see if I can make this better, but it's roughly like a 2.5 minute team. The waves are quite slow. It takes 1.5 minutes to get through the waves, but this is what I've done. If you guys are curious, I don't think I do a full video on this team just because it's not exactly budget, is it? Double Newt Yumiko, and Martyr. The key thing that let me build this team is Martyr needs to be 1-star, at least awakened, because she needs the Faultless Defense Blessing. What does that do? Whenever she applies increased defense to the team and you take damage, it reflects a tiny bit back. Against the boss specifically, we'll see when we get to the boss, that helps a ton because it knocks 5 points off of his shield. So we put up our defensive buff, he smacks us, and then it knocks points off of our shield. Luckily, all the champions in this team are pretty tanky as well, so we can sort of tank through. The newts go first, and Riho reflects the stuff back, but then the other newt puts it on anyway. Other newt actually resists the Riho, which is funny. Martyr's really nice as well for provoking the waves. We even have this wave locked out, so this wave is definitely not doing anything because we've got the Yumiko. I think that Kymar could work here totally fine. Yumiko gives us double hits against the boss. Kymar gives us the turn meter boost with his reset, so I'm not actually sure which is better or if it makes a difference. But this is the way that we have run it anyway. So you can see it's about 1.5 minutes through the waves. We could definitely improve that time. Yeah, we could definitely improve the time, but the idea here is we open with the A1s. So everyone A1s, which just mitigates the damage a little bit. She puts on the increased defense counterattack. The boss smacks us. It hits like heck. Even if he crits us, nobody dies though. But yeah, then we get 5 pips off from Faultless Defense. Then we've all the counterattacks come in, which knock off a huge chunk. We've got no Phantom Touch in this team either, so there's no Phantom Touch randomness. Yeah, then Yumiko does her A2. We force her to do her A2. And we get the ally attack right here, which takes down the shield and pushes the boss to 0. Newt 1 does a Blessed Bash. Newt 2 does a Blessed Bash. Yumiko will then reset. She should just A1, which can land decreased defense, but I don't think it's even needed. We get another ally attack, which will, again, prevent the boss from taking a turn, pushes his turn meter right back. And even with all these decreased speed debuffs, it's really no problem. And actually, Soul Reap should finish him off here. So yeah, like 2.5 minutes. This is my new team. Works well. Like I said, the biggest problem is the waves. Like maybe Kymar, like an actual damage Kymar, maybe could be the way, you know? Because he doesn't need to be fast. He could be really slow. Like you could have a damaged Kymar be slower than the newts, be built for high damage, which would be weird, but possible. And you have him open with his A1. So everyone opens A1, turn 1, plus her counterattack. Then you get the ally attack, Blessed Bashes, then Kymar resets. Now Yumiko gets 3 turns, Kymar will get 2. It might actually work out a bit faster and he bring you some damage to the waves with the poisons and I don't know if it's necessary. But anyway, look, that's my new Fire Knight team. Slixus is on the board. Before we forget, I do like to come in and just as an extra precaution so I don't feed something while I'm not paying attention. Oh, of course, we don't actually have the Slixus. We only have derp derp. I'm a big dumbass. We only got 25 fragments. Of course, we got a quarter of Slixus. 1/4. I thought we were getting a whole Void Epic. No, we get a quarter of a Void Epic, which is a terrible deal, really, for 6 Sacreds. Oh, look at that. I've got 5 Aestrid fragments, which is enough for a chest. The hype, I cannot contain myself. We got an epic book. Amazing. That's so good. Wow. Yeah, I was going to ascend Slixus. We don't even need to do that. It's a quarter of an epic. Terrible deal for 6 Sacreds if you were doing that, but it does set you up for the fusion. I will just empower these champions, but yep, there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and yeah, good luck if you are pulling for this, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.